Good evening. You're listening to Adrenaline Motorsports. I'm Fred Blanchard, your host. Frank was involved with.
Well, a brief history of Cannon himself. He had a 55 Thunderbird, and he had Ken's and Leslie build a hot Ford motor for it, and he ran it at Santa Ana in the mid-50s. And met Chrisman, who was a hot dog down there with the 15 car. And they decided to build a Chrysler for that Thunderbird because he was getting beat by some Corvettes and stuff. So they built this bodacious Chrysler, 454-inch with a fuel injector and everything. And he proceeded to kill him at Santa Ana with that Thunderbird.
Yes, money was not spared on that car. I can tell you that.
Exactly. So, and Art's dragster was kind of long in the tooth at this point. So they decided, after there was no more competition to race for Cannon's Thunderbird, they said, let's build a chassis and put Cannon's engine in it and go to Long Beach and see how fast it'll go. So they drew these plans on the garage floor there in Compton, and welded it together and put Cannon's motor in it and went down the Lions. While it was being built, everybody'd go down the Lions on Saturday night when Mickey Thompson was running it, and Cannon made him a bet that he'd run 150 on gasoline with this car that hasn't been finished yet. And so Mickey took the bet. And so they bolted this thing together, unblown, went down to Lions and ran 147 first run. Mickey gave him the money prior to running 150 because the handwriting was on the wall.
Well, Mickey parting with money was something in itself.
Yeah, but he knew he had been had at that point. So that's the car that became the Hustler. And they built a full body for it and put a front mount blower on it. And took it to Riverside. And the air was pretty rare at Riverside. And they managed to blow it up just under the bridge. And the blower blew the body all apart, and it just did terrible things to it. So the next 2 weeks later, they had the body back together, but this time the blower was on the top. And
then you think that's a good place for it, do you?
Yes. As a matter of fact, if you're going to sit behind a fire, you might as well not be able to see either, you know. So those two cars, this is a side note, Art restored the Hustler 1, and he kept the original dragster that he ran, which was built as a Lakes car in the 20s, believe it or not.
Yes.
And he sold those two cars and his Ranchero to a collector in Texas for $1,750,000.
You gotta be
new
kidding.
High water mark for a drag race cars.
Absolutely.
And so my replica, as you call it,
did you call this guy up?
No, I'm going to leave him be.
Okay. You just figure he might have a few dollars left?
No, I don't want to sell it. This is essentially my paying homage to
your tribute. Yes.
The fact that I was able to hang around with these guys who were so fast and so famous, and they let me participate.
Yeah.
And that's essentially why I did this car the way it is. There would have been I could have been any number of ways that I could have gone with the shape of the car, but I decided to do this, and I got Art Chrisman's blessings and Mrs. Cannon's blessings.
Oh my!
On the whole project. So
that being said alone is a lot.
It's justified to do this.
It's a big thing, yeah.
And I think Art was a little touched by the fact that it came out as nice as it. He's only seen pictures. He won't see it till next Wednesday night.
Really? Is that a fact?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I think he'll be knocked out because everybody that surrounds him has seen pictures of it, and they're all just all of Twitter with anticipation. So that's good.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be something.
And then we'll take it up to Bakersfield and do what we do up there, which is wade around in waves of nostalgia.
Well, it has evolved to that, hasn't it?
Yeah.
The thing that I wanted to ask about this event of the unveiling, so to speak, where is this being held?
Bakersfield, Formosa Raceway, which is about 20 miles north of Bakersfield on the highway that heads up to
Porterville.
Porterville, exactly.
Right.
You take the Porterville turn off of the is it 5? No, it's 99 there,
Yeah,
right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, off of 99, take the Porterville Highway, and you'll see a huge arrow at the intersection where the Formosa drag strip is located.
The car that you're going to take the show, now you're taking the car prior to that to show Art Christman, is that
Yeah,
correct?
Wednesday night we have a gathering down at his shop. He stays open for his customers on Wednesday night, and we're just going to go take it down and
what time,
unveil it.
Unveil it. Well, that's true. That's exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah.
What time does all this happen?
Oh, about 6 o'clock on Wednesday evening.
How cool is that? All right. Well, that sounds like you care to share where that's at, or you want to keep it to yourself?
Well, I don't want to overwhelm the place with people. I don't know what size your audience is, but I could very easily overwhelm
so
this
far
place.
it's two that I know of.
That's not funny.
No, I do get calls from people that listen as far away as back east somewhere. So
Really?
I had a guy call and tell me he listens all the time, and I just got a call from.
Well, he needs to get a life.
Yeah. Frank Shea, you didn't hear that. Oh, God. No, he runs a rear engine program with a bunch of other guys, and they run alcohol cars back east, and they create their own traveling shows, what they do. And they go around, and every few months they hook up with a drag strip, and they go put on a show for the drag strip, and they get to run their cars, and they get tow money and things like that. But yeah, I've had a couple of conversations with this gentleman, and this is kind of what they do. So I do have one other member of the audience. So
I see.
Okay.
Is he related?
Well, I think he's already married.
on a more appropriate note.
Yeah.
I'd like to tell you that this event that's in Bakersfield this weekend after next is the premier reunion event. Joe Paisano died at a drag strip of a heart attack, and we were all gathered at his funeral in Fox Hills. Mm-hmm. And Steve Gibbs, who was one of the heavyweight hitters in the NHRA racing, said we ought to put together a one-time reunion, and get everybody together instead of having to meet at somebody's funeral. And one thing led to another, and in 1992 we had the first reunion.
Yes, I do remember.
And I think it was 92, because this is like the 20th.
I heard this was
event. So
20th. I thought it was the 18th. That shows you what I know.
You're probably right. 2006 maybe.
Yeah.
I mean 1996 was the first one. Anyway, they were going to just do it once, and it was such a roaring success. And the proceeds were given to the NHRA Museum, which all of us have a warm spot for, because it houses those things that are all of our memories from the drag racing from its beginning. You know,
it's a mecca to the sport, whether it be dry lakes or drag racing.
Yeah.
Or circle track.
I mean, they even have some door slammers in there, which...
Yeah, well, we didn't let them in whether they needed to be there or not. But in reality, no, it does have a lot to show for what came out of Southern California and the sources that created the motorsport as we know it today. I know that in talking to many, it wasn't just dry lakes racing. It was circle track racing. It was... Yep. And then it ended up evolved to drag racing as well. but it lives on, and it's still alive. And the thing is that those are the things that are near and dear to old guys like me, anyway. And that's very, very cool. And I thought it's great stuff.